Hey everyone, it's Shauna again, back with another video for you guys. Today I'm going to be playing with my Marabu alcohol inks. This is their most recent release. It came out in August, so last month, 2021. There are 15 new colors. This is a photo showing them here, and I got this set from joggles.com. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get these opened up. I'm going to get them all snipped. I don't know if you've ever used Marabu alcohol inks, but they have the plastic tip that needs to be snipped off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to swatch these bad boys and then do some playing with them. While I was snipping the tips off, I thought I'd show you guys a good way to do it. I had an accident off camera, and the alcohol ink kind of will shoot out of there when you snip the tip sometimes. So it's best to like put something over the top of it, like you just saw, to keep that all, contained. This is my swatch sheet that I'm going to use to swatch the 15 colors. I printed this out myself, but I printed it on a synthetic paper. This is not Yupo, it's called Synapse. I'll leave a link in the description. I don't know that I would say it's comparable to Yupo, but I do use it. It is a plastic paper. It can be used with alcohol ink because, alcohol ink requires a non-porous substrate. So this is my Synapse plastic paper that I printed on my laser printer. I went ahead and wrote the names of the colors underneath the boxes, and then I'm going to go ahead and swatch these for you guys. These two white colors, the first one is deep white and the second one is pearl. You're not going to be able to see those very well on camera. The deep white one is very opaque white, and the pearl is it's pearlescent white. Now I'm going to zoom this in for you guys and go ahead and swatch the rest of these. This next one is called Metallic Anthracite. I love this color. It reminds me of Payne's Gray. I love it. It's a dark bluish, grayish, blackish color. Anthracite is a type of coal, so it's in that kind of family. I'm using a bit of homemade hand sanitizer to blend out these colors, just so you can see the range. They go onto the paper very dark, so it's hard to sometimes see what the colors actually are. So I'm using a bit of hand sanitizer that I have poured off there to the side to dip my paintbrush in and sort of blend the colors out a little bit. And my plastic paper was a little bit curled here. That's why I'm holding it down until I can tape it down. But after the anthracite, we had aubergine, which I also love, ruby red and terracotta. That aubergine comes also in a spray, and acrylic paint spray is a great color. Now we're going to go down with sunshine yellow and powder pink. The sunshine yellow is a standard yellow color. It's neither here nor there. The powder pink is it's a very light pink color. I'm going to use it later on in this video, and I don't know how well it reads on camera, to be honest. This rose gold is metallic. If you'll notice the little M's by the names of the paint colors, those are the metallic colors. I was having a hard time with this rose gold and the coral as well, because the metallic colors have a metal ball in them, and something about the Marabu alcohol inks is the bottle tip is just exactly the right size for the metal ball to fit inside of it. So sometimes you'll be trying to get the paint out and you can't because the metal ball is blocking the tip. Yeah. that was happening off camera with some of these metallic colors. The regular colors without the M's, they don't have any balls. They don't need to be shaken. So those went on just fine. I have the lime, powder pink. There was rose gold, coral, metallic orange, and metallic red are incredible in person. I don't know if they read well on camera, but they were great colors. Lime, lagoon, and lilac are the last three. And those are non-metallic colors. So I'm going to get these all swatched out and blended out. I like to use the swatch sheets because, as you can see, you get a very good idea of what the color palette looks like, what colors you might want to use. And I actually pulled this out multiple times when I was doing my little play projects, which we're going into here. Now I've gotten out some onion skin paper. Like, that's actually the brand name of it. I get it from the paper mill store, and I will link that in the description as well. It's kind of like in the family of vellum. It's stronger than tissue paper though. Like, I can run onion skin through my printer. It has a little more structure to it than tissue paper. So I started off with some blending solution, and the colors I'm using for this first play project are aubergine and lilac, and I'm also going in with a little bit of that deep white. The blending solution is from Ranger, by the way. The deep white is very interesting. Like, it has opacity to it, as you can see, but it also sort of takes on the color of whatever you mix it with, whatever it gets mixed with. By the time this one was over, you won't be able to see the super white opaque dots of alcohol ink anymore. It kind of blends in with the colors surrounding it, which is cool. It makes for a cool effect. I put the onion skin on top of this white paper so you'd be able to see things better than on top of my black Tim Holtz glass mat. But the white paper I was using, it was bleeding through. It was a whole thing. So I went and got a white tray that I'm going to use instead. And I'm just finishing off this first play project, as I'm calling them, in this purple family. This one came out really nice. Even the way that the ink was spreading, because of the fact that it was going through the paper onto the sheet behind it, the way that it is spreading on the outside, I thought ended up being really cool. And I ended up liking that effect a lot. See, these are kind of things with alcohol inks, because they have a mind of their own sometime, that you can get these kind of serendipitous accidents that end up being really cool. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go in with some silver and do some splatters. This is a silver mixative by Ranger. This is the Tim Holtz line here. I'm just doing a few dots on my glass mat, and I'd already sprayed out some isopropyl alcohol is what that was. I just want to get it to be super liquidy so that it will transfer off of that paintbrush onto my paper. Sometimes if it's not watery enough, it's hard to get it off. Now here I'm going in, I'm hitting my paintbrush with a, what is it? It's like a silicone, what is it called? The spatula. It's a silicone spatula I'm hitting my paintbrush with to help get the paint off. And as you saw in that close up, it came off pretty well. Like, these splatters are doing their job. And I think that adds a nice effect to the final piece. I'm going in with my second play project. I'm putting a circle of blending solution on the paper. It helps it move around a bit. This type of paper is not UPO, it's not going to move on its own. It's going to absorb this ink. And so to keep it from doing that right away, I put some blending solution down to get the inks moving. And I'm going in with my Tim Holtz Ranger blower. I don't know what that thing's called, but I actually have a couple of things that look like that. I got them in little kits for my plants, my house plants, little gardening kits. This one works better than those, obviously, because this one is made to do what it's doing. But it's an ink blower. It helps you move the ink around on the paper, and it comes in really handy. It has a lot of force too. Like you can just squeeze it halfway, get a little bit of air, but if you going all the way, you're getting some big puffs coming out of that thing. So this color scheme that I'm using, these 3 colors are lime, lagoon, and the anthracite. And I'm going in now and just making a few marks with some gold mixative from Ranger. And then I think I did a heat dry on that one, and you saw the final result there at the end. I think at the end of this video, I'm going to go in and show a more in-depth or up-close. You're going to get a better up-close view of the final results. So this third play project that we're doing, I am going to be using the sunshine yellow there in the middle, the metallic red, which I'm having a problem with, and then metallic orange. Guys, like I said before, this is just, see, it happened again. The metal ball gets stuck in the tip, and the alcohol ink doesn't want to come out. That is just a design flaw. I can't think of any other way to describe what is happening there with that. I think if the tip of the bottle was just a tad bit smaller, it wouldn't allow the ball to get stuck in there, but you know, that's something you gotta know about Marabu alcohol inks go in, I guess. So what I'm going to do here is I got a stencil out. I laid down my 3 colors, blew them out, got my stencil out, and now I have a domed foam blending brush, and I am going to be putting alcohol ink, lift ink, on that domed brush, and I'm just pouncing it through the stencil. So the lift ink will pull up alcohol ink in the places where it's applied. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going in with my paper towel, and I'm dabbing the places where the lift ink is. That wasn't working as well as I'd wanted it to, so I'm going to go in. I took the stencil off and dab some more, and then I think when I started to rub is when I started to get the stencil appearance to show up. You see there, I'm rubbing, and you can see where the stencil was. You're not really supposed to rub. Like, that's not something that Tim Holtz or anyone who uses this says you're supposed to do. I was dabbing first, and that wasn't really working, so I tried rubbing, and that worked out better. I think it just depends on each project. It's different. The dabbing wasn't really working for this one, so I did some rubbing, and as you can see, the stencil, the shape of the stencil is shown there through the alcohol ink. So that's a cool little trick that I learned actually from Tiffany Solorio, another YouTuber. And this is my last play project, and that is a stencil from the Crafters Workshop. It's called Rosette, I believe. And what I'm going to do, I put the stencil on top of my onion skin paper. I got the blending solution out, I got that going, and then I am just going to shake the alcohol ink on top of the stencil and the paper. This is that powder pink that I was talking about before. You can't really see it because it's, I don't know, it's very subtle. It might be a little too subtle for my taste. In the final product, the final, representation of this, maybe you can tell where the powder pink was. I don't know. I'm trying to put some more on there because I can't really see it. And so I think I went with the powder pink, ruby red, and terracotta for this. And just to get some of that extra off, I came in with a deli sheet and ended up with a nice little piece there that I can use. And then I dried it with my heat tool. And now I'm going to try to pull this up and see if I can get the representation of the stencil to stay there on the paper after I pull it up. It's a good idea to have this be very dry before you pull that up. You want it to dry in place. the ink to dry in place before you pull that stencil up. So off camera it was drying, and I just cut through that. So once I pull it up, that is what I have left. I like that one. I think it looks really cool. And I think under the stencil there was some more wet ink, so I'm just drying it off a little bit more. I think you can see the representation of the stencil really well. I don't see that powder pink, like, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I don't see it. I see the ruby red and the terracotta, and there's, I don't know where that purple dark blue color came from. It must have been on my mat or something, my glass mat. But I think it came out really cool. And I like this technique. I like the representation of the stencil that you can get using alcohol ink. So I think now I'm just going to go in and take a look at all of the final products. You saw the stencil one, the other stencil. This is the second stencil, and then this is the one with the lagoon and lime and anthracite. I'm gonna zoom in there so you can see the mark making with the gold mixative. And then this was the first one that I did with the aubergine, the lilac, and the silver. So those are my play projects. I really like these Marabu inks, and I thank you guys for watching. Please hit subscribe and give this video a like if you liked it. Have a creative day, you guys. Bye.